Assalamu alaikum everyone and welcome to another session of the Geek Dhaba, and today we're going to be discussing Coda. What can I say about this movie? I mean, it was such a good movie. I haven't enjoyed watching a non-geek movie in such a long time. I mean, it's pretty clear, right? There's so many good things about this movie. The acting is phenomenal. The music choice is great, but that's because Apple owns the music industry and they all used Apple-owned music anyway. But um, it checks a lot of Oscar boxes, in my opinion, right? It checks the working class American, the average Joe, how he struggles to make ends meet, check female lead who wants to pursue her dream despite being forced into family stereotypes, check struggles of people with disabilities, check. And it handles all three of these things so beautifully in one package. And watching this movie from beginning to end, there was not a moment where I felt even like I was bored.
Yes, I had tears in my eyes in multiple scenes throughout the movie. It's been a while that a movie has made me cry in such a heartwarming manner. Honestly, so Coda is basically stands for children or child of deaf adults, and it's about our high school girl whose parents, whose brother, they're deaf. And basically she's their support. Like, she deals with people for them, she talks to people for them, they have their fishing business, and she's ultimately tied down between her responsibility to her family or to pursue her own goals and dreams. There's this one scene where I think I genuinely started bawling. It's when her dad basically
I think I know which one.
It's when her dad asks her to sing. And he puts his hand on her throat, and he asks her to sing loud. I think I'm getting eyes could go I'm deaf, but I can hear you. And the girl's expression was like, I'm trying to express whatever I'm singing to you. I bawled. I bawled, and that scene just had me. It was so beautiful. The way, I feel like in movies these days, it was a really refreshing movie to watch. I agree with you. Best non-geek movie I've watched in a while. But the essence they captured, the beauty of the small things, the big things, the relationships, the beauty of all of that. It was beautiful. It was impactful. It was emotional. It was so perfectly done. You felt like you were growing up with her. You felt like you're also 16, 17 again, and you want everything to work out. You want her to be there for her family, but then you also understand her struggles and how she's tied into this. It's been such a long time since I watched a movie that tugged at my heartstrings in so many various emotions from the emotional spectrum. I felt happy, I felt angry, I felt melodramatic, I felt poignant. Thank you so much, Apple, for picking up this movie. I think they picked it up at the Sundance Festival. I'm not sure. I read somewhere they picked it up, and I'm like, yeah, such a good movie. It was so beautiful. It was like a Disney movie, but like a Disney family movie, not but something that went way above that, with a more mature setting, a more meaningful setting, it was just beautiful.
There's so much to say about this movie for me, honestly. It's so relatable as well for a lot of different aspects, right? There's so many layers to this movie. It's not just it's disabled parents raising a kid, and It's just how she copes with it. No, there's so many layers, so many subplots, and each subplot can be discussed separately. And each subplot could have been its own movie, but it worked so beautifully, like a nice, elegant dish in front of you. And every bite of that dish is just fantastic, right? So this scene where she's trying to like getting frustrated with her family because she wants to get into singing, but her family just doesn't understand it because they can't understand her singing. Is she good? Is she bad? And I loved like there are two apart from the the scene you said where she's holding his throat. There are two scenes that I absolutely loved in this movie that made me just like want to give a standing ovation. The other one is when she's singing on stage and the entire thing just goes quiet and you see it from their perspective.
Yes.
They can't hear her, but they can see everybody around and how they're reacting to it. And then it leads to that scene that you like. And the scene that absolutely got me was
I know which scene you're referring to.
when she embraces it and she starts signing the last song, Saath Saath Mein. That was just like, oh yes, what a scene. What a scene. I honestly wish like give this movie the Oscar just for that. And I mean I realistically speaking, I don't think it's going to get the Oscar, but if it was
Yeah,
up to me,
probably not.
if it was up to me, I'd give this movie the Oscar. Right? It was just so good. It was such a good movie, and I don't know what else to say about it. It was fantastic. It was amazing. Like there was not a moment in this movie where I felt like I would rather be doing anything else. It was beginning to end. It set the tone nicely. Everything worked out. It was just, I mean, if you haven't watched this movie, you're missing out, and you definitely need to go and watch this movie. Right?
Definitely.
It's a masterpiece, a modern masterpiece, in my opinion. It's just so well done, well handled. And I'd watch it again, honestly. I'm pretty sure I can convince my dad to watch it tomorrow and I'll sit down and I'll watch it again. It's that good. Very few movies I've watched multiple times. Encanto is one that I've watched multiple times. I loved it that much. But this movie I'd watch a few times too.
You know what I love? I just realized. I love that, okay, there was a romantic interest for her, but that guy wasn't her point of realization. Like, you know how in most movies, the theme is that the main character finds someone that they're in love with, and that person opens their eyes to, oh my God, like, I could be better, I could do this, and that their love interest supports them through it. Or, like, sure, that's like a really valid thing. But in this movie, that guy served no point except just being someone she liked.
Yep.
He did not like go like, oh my God, I'm gonna talk to the teacher for you, or like, oh, you should definitely like audition. And like, I didn't see anything of him like supporting her or promoting it, and I love that. I'm like, you know what? Kudos to you. You just stayed as a romantic interest. Yes, like we all love a partner who is supportive and who's really invested, but I love that like this he wasn't her main factor for her like opening up her horizons. It was actually the teacher who saw her and believed in her. I loved it. Like that should be the narrative we set. Like we shouldn't always have a partner who opens our eyes to like, you know, what the world could be out there for us. Rather we find another supportive adult or someone who helps us make it there somehow. The teacher was actually the hero for me. He stepped into the audition, he played the piano, and he stopped the music and he said, take it from the top. He embarrassed himself, you know, in front of his alumni.
And I noticed that. I was like, oh, this man after my own heart. Like
I loved it.
I want to talk about the teacher for a moment. I realized we went through the entire review without talking about him, and he's easily like one of the best characters in this entire movie, right? Right next to the main character, whose name eludes me at this time for some reason. But Ruby, yes, thank you. Her and him have this great dynamic. It's like kind of like Whiplash, man. You know, the relationship that the teacher-student had, except it's not as, you know, rough. It's like very tough love, nurturing, no bullshit kind of relationship that they have, right? Okay, you want to do this, then you follow my rules. I'm not gonna be like making allowances for you. You want to do this and you do it right, or you go home. right? And it's just amazing. And like one of the things I loved is like when she came back, like in the first 20 minutes of this movie, she runs out of the choir class, runs back in, and he doesn't even say, you know what, sing for me so I know where to put you. He just says, okay, see you on Monday, right? Doesn't even audition her, doesn't do anything, and all of a sudden she finds an excuse to make her sing in front of a crowd. Because that's something that he knows that she needs to work on. And I was just like, I love this man so
That's
much.
genius.
I love this man so much.
I love the teacher. I love the teacher so much. I love the dynamic they had. I love the chemistry they had. It was pretty good. I love that it didn't have to be the male love interest who, made her believe in herself, and like that's nice, but it's a really overused cliche at this point. It is overused, vastly overused. I just love that this was her point. It was another person who's in industry, who has a valid reason for him to believe in her, who promoted her, who made her feel like this isn't it for you. You should think about yourself. You should think about what you want to do. You have the talent in you. It was a great movie. I loved her parents. I loved her brother.
Mhm.
I loved how her brother just told her that, we were fine before you came, and we're going to be fine after you go. Like, don't worry about it. We'll manage it. We'll figure it out. I loved that for him. I loved he was, he did that. He said that. I loved how flawed her parents were as well.
Mhm.
Like initially you could see that her mom was really questioning it. You could see that, oh, like, can she even sing? Do you know? I love that they did include, because that's a natural reaction. It would be too much if they were like the perfect parents who were like, oh yeah, we support you. You want to sing, honey? Like, you do it. No, but you could see that they were doubting it and they depended on her.
Exactly.
I loved it.
And it's like,
I can't fault.
I was just about to mention, right? Like the mother isn't the most supportive in this movie. And even like one of the scenes that stuck with me was, when she says, I want to sing, right? And her mother just goes like, so you're basically saying to me, if I was blind, you'd want to paint, right?
Yes.
And then that was just that scene sums up the relationship like easily. Like I think it's the best way to sum up their entire relationship. And
yes.
It just like there's so many things. I mean, I could write a novel about how good this movie was. It's just yeah, I haven't watched a movie this good in a really long time. And I think we should just go to scores. Otherwise, we're talking about this movie for hours. Unless you have anything else to say before we go into scores.
Oh, nothing else. You pretty much summed up whatever I wanted to say. There's no question about it. I'm gonna give this movie a 10 out of 10.
Oh,
There's no
10,
question.
10 for me too. Like 9.5 to 10 easy. Right.
Yes.
Let's say 10. 10, sure. 10 out of 10 movie for me, honestly. Very good movie. Don't know what else to say about it. Watch it. Definitely watch it. If you have the ability to, do yourself a favor and watch this movie.
We highly recommend. We highly recommend.
Highly recommend. And with that is the Dhaba's opinion on this movie. Join us next time when we open the Dhaba for another review. And until next time, see you all later.